I started watching anime regularly around 1997, but my first anime experience was The Mysterious Cities of Gold sometime between 1984 and 1986, and Akira in 1988. My first anime series was the Tenchi Muyo OVA and the Tenchi Universe TV series. I attended my first convention in 1999 and went on to watch anime on and off until taking a hiatus after watching Kannagi in 2009. I was entering my 30s, and I suppose I felt that anime was morally bankrupt, as I put it back then. Not all anime had a lack of moral value, but the shows I gravitated towards seemed to be on the trashy side, with lots of fan service and cliches that I just got tired of. About a year later, I joined some of my friends in the celebration of all things pony, and that would last for the next several years. My Little Pony to me was pure and innocent, with a magical world, great writing, fun characters, and they would learn a moral lesson each week. It was fun, but eventually it started to get a bit stale.
I don't want to talk about it.
In 2016, I watched One Punch Man. The superhero world, awesome action, and underutilized protagonist started the fire in my heart for anime again. I started watching some anime YouTubers like Giguk and Mother's Basement. They told me what kind of shows were out there and gave me insight into the current state of anime. Moving into 2017, I went all in with shows like Masamune-kun's Revenge, Made in Abyss, Recreators, My Hero Academia, Violet Evergarden, and other great shows that were fun but had more than just moral lessons. They had cool characters, battles, incredible drama. I learned that there were intelligent shows with great stories out there. I got my streaming subscriptions going and started to watch. I watched older series that I missed, and of course, newer ones. It was a new rebirth. But then I started to watch the entertaining but ultimately shallow trash that was available to me, like Monster Musume, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Citrus, and others, stopping 2 episodes into Eromanga Sensei just before it took my soul. Pulling myself recently out of the dumpster, though, I found 2 great series. Hinamatsuri, a laugh-out-loud comedy about members of the Yakuza mob and a bunch of junior high girls, some of which have extraordinary powers. It's a funny, heartwarming series that had me laughing 1 minute and crying the next. The other show is the one I'm going to talk about today. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is a supernatural, somewhat romantic drama that is about a group of teenagers suffering from puberty syndrome, which is defined as abnormal experiences rumored on the internet to be caused by sensitivity and instability during adolescence. Or basically, a supernatural affliction that makes weird things happen because you have personal uncertainty, feelings, or other unresolved issues. Our main character, Sakuta, has a sister named Kaede, who after being cyberbullied on her phone, starts to get cuts and bruises on her body as if she was physically abused. This causes Sakuta to help her by getting rid of their cell phones. Of course, he also receives a strange claw-like mark on his chest. One day, he sees a girl dressed up in a bunny costume in the library, and he is the only one who can see her. She is Mai Sakurajima, a popular actress and model that is his senpai at school as well, testing the waters by wearing the skimpy outfit. Her desire to leave the limelight results in people slowly starting to forget about her entirely, making her invisible to all but Sakuta. As the show goes on, other girls with various afflictions start to come into Sakuta's life, and he is able to find creative ways to solve each problem. Groundhog Day style time loops, body swapping, and other supernatural occurrences challenge Sakuta and the girls to find a solution. Each affliction makes up an arc, lasting a few episodes. The situations that result in their solutions are both satisfying to watch. With the core image of a girl in a bunny costume and the typical harem anime cast ratio, you might think this show is your run-of-the-mill romance harem thing with supernatural elements, but you would be a bit misguided because there is a lot more than that. The show is a joy to watch. The conversations between characters are masterfully written. It's as if Aaron Sorkin wrote an anime. Dialogue is witty and clever, moving at a good pace. It doesn't insult your intelligence. Each conversation moves forward like a duel, with each character being real and putting their feelings out there. They don't withhold information to extend the show artificially or avoid saying things because they are embarrassed. You get the whole character. And these characters can't withhold petty information because they have to solve a seemingly unsolvable problem with all of the information. It's so refreshing to see characters that are fleshed out and not just one note. They take the bull by the horns, kill two birds with one stone, and have bigger fish to fry. That's right, take that, PETA. The show avoids a lot of the standard cliches that overwhelm most anime these days. The characters react like real people react. Reactions are genuine, unlike a lot of shows that try to get their comedy through overreaction.
なるほど。で、一日でも早く僕に会いたくて帰ってきたんですね。嬉しいな。
何よそれ。
お決まりでしたらご注文をどうぞ。ご注文をどうぞ。
何すねてるのよ。
すねてません。
すねてるじゃない。
誰のせいだと思いますか？
それは
その？
ごめん。けど？
お詫びには期待してます。
わかった。それなりのことはしてあげるから。
エロいことでも？
少しくらいならね。
じゃあ許してあげます。
調子に乗るな。
早く帰ってきてくれてすげえ嬉しいです。
バカ。それを先に言いなさい。バイト何時まで？待っててあげる。
There is also romantic tension without relying on a bunch of fan service. They often take the high road, with the comedy or fleeting romantic titillation being conveyed in small doses, usually through dialogue. They can have a scene where two characters share a bed and nothing sensual happens. This is the one series where a romantic situation can result in an underwhelming result, yet I'm just as satisfied emotionally as if they had gone further. It holds back, and thus, less is more. This is an intelligent series that uses its words. Well, most of the time. The animation is also very fluid and abundant, especially for a TV show. With most of the drama being through conversation, the characters need to emote and have genuine reactions. Because of this, they are well animated. I really enjoyed watching the crowds in the first episode and the kind of realism that it creates, and also the beach fireworks scene later in the show, with the fluidity of the animation, almost like a movie. The showrunners used their well-sized animation budget to create atmosphere and a living world. Animating the background characters and the crowds wasn't something they had to do, but it's a nice touch that makes the show come to life. There are a few issues with the show. Seriously, just say no to Emoto. One of the later arcs is not as engaging and somewhat predictable. There are some confusing discussions about physics and other pseudo-scientific stuff. It doesn't always work, but overall it's a solid show that you should watch. I personally identify with the rascal himself, Sakuta. There is a concept briefly touched on in the series that also exists in Japanese culture called reading the atmosphere, which basically is like saying that you relate to the status quo, the normal way of life, or the social situations and cues that make you fit in. Well, Sakuta doesn't fit into the normal way of life. He is a loner, an outcast, and someone who says things that offend people or may be inappropriate.
タイツを脱ぐ女子ってなんかエロいな。
みんなバカ。何足ばかり見てんの？
挟まれたい。言っておくが顔だからな。
顔なら大丈夫って発想が頭おかしい。マジしね。
Yeah, he's a bit horny at times, but seriously, do you blame him? His classmates and even his parents don't see that he helped his sister with her affliction and that he actually cares about the people in his life. They only see the negative and overreact to the situation. There's a stigma that alienates him in his school. As someone who is a bit socially awkward myself, I really relate to his character. My attempts at comedy are sometimes offensive, and I don't always have a grasp on the social cues and conversation skills that I'm supposed to have when speaking. I sometimes feel alienated myself in certain social situations. But the misunderstood tend to think outside the box, and that is where Sakuta shines. He can understand this strange syndrome because he can grasp the concept and help to find a solution. He is confident in his awkwardness, and that makes him not only capable, but likable. He even gets the girl. Kind of. Sakuta and the other girls act as a type of support for each other. The girls need him to see past themselves, and he needs them to accept him and be the love and support that he doesn't get from his parents or classmates. I am excited about this show, the same way that I was often excited about the overly sexualized trash that I was watching too often. I love watching the characters interact and the story progress. The less is more approach is refreshing, and I can relate to the characters and I care about their plight. I believe we need to better ourselves through intelligent, well-written shows like this. Trash is temporary, but a good story lasts forever. This is Dan T from Twisted Banana Productions signing off to go write PETA a harshly written letter with lots of animal-based idioms.
バカ